Mike Mustin. Each week I travel the country with the goal of showcasing the best and baddest muscle cars and hot rods around. Every car has a past and every owner a story. Welcome to the world of Big Muscle.
So we're down here this morning in Mavericks, one of the coolest surfing spots on the North Shore of California, with a surfmobile. Now, when you think of a surfmobile, what do you think of? And what qualities do you want? Well, you want two things. One, it's got to be able to hold a couple of surfboards. Two, it's got to be really, really fast to get you to the next break before the waves break. So that's what we're going to do today on Big Muscle. We're taking this car, we're going to go from point A to point B. I'm not going in that water because I'm Italian and from New York, and there are sharks out there. And the only type of sharks I like are the ones on my dinner plate. So with that being said, let's keep walking this way, and I'm going to show you this car. About a year ago, I was walking through a local car show, and I came upon this 1926 Hudson. It's got massive red wheels, the body is made of wood, and it has bullet holes all over this. I don't know how you wouldn't be intrigued by this car. I know I was. When you come across something like this that's truly hand fabricated, I mean the frame, the body, the engine mounts, the grill, everything, it really opens your eyes to stuff. It makes you look at things that you might not have imagined. And that's the cool part about this car. Like, I couldn't have imagined any of this. And then, of course, we get to the interior, which is one of my favorite parts.
If you like details, and I mean well thought out, intricate details, then rest assured that you're looking at a vehicle that will not disappoint. You might notice the pinstriped adorned glove box, the floor-mounted aircraft altimeter, or the dome light that's perfectly crafted out of a vintage medicine bottle. If those didn't catch your eye, then perhaps you were focusing on the adjustable windshield, the old license plate floor mat, or the fact that the key to unlocking the chastity belt of speed looks to have come off an old pirate ship. This is a tinkerer's delight, a vehicle where the boundaries of design and function are only limited by the creator's imagination.
Just working on cars kind of came natural to me, so I started out at a BMW franchise as a wash kid, moved in as an oil change guy. Worked that way for 7 years, decided that I could probably do better for myself if I was a service advisor. Took that route where I worked as a service advisor for BMW, Land Rover, Hyundai. During the last year, Scott and I decided that we were going to build this Woody. Our time frame window was, we started the project in March and Woody's on the Wharf was in the end of June. So we decided it's gonna happen. Pull all the stops, stay up late, it's gonna happen. So we went for it, we put the car together, it had its maiden voyage to the Good Guys show on June 1st. Barely made it there, the steering was all over the place, the radiator hoses blew off, it just was chaos, but we got it there. Took it back, did some refinements, got it down the Woody's on the Wharf, and the car became flypaper. There's something about the car that you see somebody, they walk up to it and they can't help themselves. They want to touch it. They want to touch it, they want to feel it. Is it real? I don't know what it is. What is this car? Is it a Ford? Is it a Chevy? What is it? Nobody can tell. So we got such a great response from that we started to collect more people that wanted something fixed. They saw that if you could do all that, then you could probably tune my engine for me, can't you? So we came in here and it got to be to the point where I couldn't do my full-time job at night, come down here, fix a car, on my weekends try to spend some time here too. So I had to go ahead and take a leap of faith, jumped over in here and rolled my sleeves up and got ready to go.
Well, as you can see, myself and Thaddeus are once again wedged in a car that's pre-1930. Last season we said we were never going to film a car that's pre-1930 for this exact reason. We don't fit. But we saw this thing and we had to, because not for nothing, just look at it. I mean, the thing is unbelievable. This car is not about cruising at 80 or cruising at 90 miles an hour. This is a car that's all about 0 to like So up front, we've got a 350 small block, mild motor, puts out about 380, 400 horsepower, a 4.9-inch in the rear with 370 gears. The rear wheels are 33 by 19 and a half. They're monstrous, absolutely monstrous. And the fronts are 15 by 7, 15 by 8. There's no windows, there's no real roof. I mean, there are slats here, but there's nothing on top of that otherwise. The dashboard is completely made of wood. You can put two people in the back and have them squeeze in here. I've got a tilt steering wheel, automatic transmission. Ben has also done a really, really good job of just getting the information that you want in a hot rod to you, right? We have our oil pressure gauge. We have our temperature gauge. Up top, he made this little gauge panel, this little, dash panel, where we've got our ignition switch, our fuel pump, accessories like blinkers, turn signals. The gas tank for this car is it's right here. My arm's resting on it. So I guess that kind of goes with the no safety equipment, huh?
The non-smoking car.
This is a non-smoking car. I figure you and I are big enough so if it goes up, we can actually break out through the roof. I'm going out the roof. Yeah, exactly.
I have an OCD problem, so I went to Home Depot anyway. I would walk around the store and I would see something and gears would start turning and I would think, that banister railing would work really well if I turned it this way. And then those shovel handles, if I cut them off at the end where they start to taper, I can make a rack for the top. So I did things like that where I found little cuff links that looked good for lock knobs and whatever kind of caught my eye. If I liked it and it was shiny like a fish, and I was biting it and I took it.
We've been shooting this car for a while and I can't get over the detail work. I mean, literally I keep finding stuff all over the car. Like I just looked at the door handle and there's this little kind of, almost like a faucet turn nozzle on there. And it's a coupling. Everything works. I got my horn button. Sticks a little bit, but it works. As you guys know, most of the cars we shoot in this era are pretty lax on safety equipment. This car is completely lax. It doesn't have any. There are no seat belts. There are drum brakes in the back, tiny discs up front. So as far as safety goes, not so much. But what I like about it is, we're driving, if I go like this, car tracks nice and straight. So many hot rods that we get in, the camera's off, the caster's off, suspension wasn't set up correctly. And when you consider this thing is basically using parts that are 70, 80, 90 years old, it's pretty amazing.
I walk around a car show and I see a lot of the same thing. A lot of the same gauges, the same dials, everyone's using the same switches from Summit or Speedway. My inspiration comes from a dirty rake on the ground, a garden weasel that somebody's thrown away. The swap meets are good for me because I see something that doesn't really belong to the car and I'm like, it belongs to the car now. The overflow tank is actually a squirt bottle that I got. There was a little hand squirt bottle from Target. Took the top of it off, put a cork in it, coiled some wire into it, made it work. The newer stuff with the switches, although cool and functional for what people do, your grandpa can get in there and drive the car down the road. I'm not trying to put together grandpa's car. Grandpa's gonna come to my car.
The visceral experience is really where this car draws you in. You can drive this car at 20 or 50 and it feels pretty much the same, but it's when you stop and it's when people start to look at the car and pick it apart and touch it. That's where the value of this car comes in. This car is a gold mine of imagination. When I first saw this car, Ben didn't have a shop. The response that he's gotten basically told him that, you know what, I can do this. So he started a shop called Jack Dick Customs. Started it with a buddy of his, and this is what they do. They build masterpieces like this. We get hundreds of submissions a month. This is the one we saw instantly and we were like, boom, done on the show. Great. I'm so happy it's a nice day today.
Somebody has offered me money on that Hudson and I laughed at him. Followed me around the whole weekend in a 3-day show. He was there every single day, sun up to sundown. You're gonna sell me that car today, boy. Let's go talk. Putting money on the table. Here's 40 grand, take it right now. And I laughed at him. I don't even know what the car is worth. I don't care, because it's fun.
Fun. Now there's a novel concept. I mean, isn't that the reason we put these cars together in the first place? We build them because they make us smile, laugh, and act in juvenile ways that may or may not get us into trouble. This old Woody is a perfect example of that. Sometimes cars don't need to be ungodly fast. They don't need to handle like a Porsche, and hell, in this case, they don't even need windows. What I'm getting at is there are no perfect vehicles, only ones that are capable of planting the memory of a perfect sunset in someone's head as they cruise along the Pacific Ocean at dusk.
What about the sharks?
I don't like sharks.
You like clams.
I'm Italian, I have to like clams. I think that's in the code book. We used to dig for clams with a rake. I've never seen it with a tube. I used to go shark fishing when I was a kid. And I will never get back in an open ocean for the simple fact that one time, we caught a mako shark. When you pull these big bastards onto the boat, the only thing you want them is dead. Dead. Couple of whacks on the old noodle, shark's out, throw them in the bin, done. But either way, I'm not going out.